D2 Word Live here with the president of the Bischoff fan club's Riptides.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Of course, the Bischoff fan club, there's really not many members.
I know that you're the lord of the Bischoff fan club.
We all know you're the president of the Bischoff fan club.
No. You like to suck his copium, don't you?
No. And anyway...
Oh, yes, you do.
Nope. Anyway, today we are reviewing Riptides' favorite WCW event, Starrcade 97.
No. This is D2's fucking favorite, Starrcade 97.
Yeah. And the main event for this show was after an 18-month build, Hollywood Hogan defended the WCW Championship against Sting. We'll talk about how that match played out, along with all the other ones. And this is the one that you've been dreading for the last week. This is the one you've been dreading for the last week.
Oh, just wait. Just wait, buddy.
But anyhow, this was obviously a WCW show, World Championship Wrestling event that took place on December 28th, 1997 in Washington, D.C. at the MCI Center. With an attendance of 17,500 unfortunate fans.
Yep.
You notice I said unfortunate fans.
Yes.
Yes, and one thing I did like, though, was the opening video package focusing on Sting and Hogan's feud with, Sting walking around just looking at Hogan, flashbacks and everything else. Hyping up this event. Apparently, this was the biggest WCW pay-per-view when it comes to buy rate, too, by the way.
Yeah. I think like with 40,000 people buying it or something like that.
Yeah. And this was the peak of WCW before they went, downhill to nothingness when it came to popularity. And we'll talk about why that probably is at the end of this review. All right?
Yep.
It's like, anyway, the announcers for this were Tony Schiavone and Dusty Rhodes and Mike Tenay. Right?
Yep.
And Bobby Heenan, who was also a commentator for WCW at this point, didn't even make a appearance on this show.
Yeah.
And then this was all about WCW versus NWO here. You had members of you had freaking WCW superstars and wrestlers in the audience, which those were both members of Harlem Heat, Rey Mysterio, Disco Inferno, Hugh Morris, and others, including freaking your boy Glacier.
Nah.
I'm surprised he didn't.
Boy Glacier.
I'm surprised he didn't show up to the show late. If you know the joke, you know the joke. Up at all. If you know the joke, you know the joke. All right.
Yeah. Well, it was also WCW versus NWO, but also for Nitro.
Also,
it was literally Nitro that was on the line, even for the Labisco and Bischoff match. And the Hogan versus Sting match.
And then the commentators were talking about how the official had yet to be determined for the main event, which they said we did in a random drawing out of a hat, which we all know was bullshit. All right.
Yep.
But anyway, let's get. Oh yeah, and one more notable thing here. Kevin Nash was supposed to be facing the Giant, or a.k.a. the Big Show, at this event, but that didn't happen because Nash didn't show up either.
Well, he went by his name in WCW, Paul White, the Giant.
Yeah.
aka the Big Joe. Yeah,
But I'm just stating facts here.
that's because Kevin Nash was scared when he didn't have a cast on his hand.
But imagine being in 1997, December 97. Imagine being all hyped up to see the two giants go at it, Nash and the Giant, right? To go at it. That was one of the matches you were looking forward to. You paid your money to see this, and then just to find out the match ain't happening, you probably feel ripped off.
Yeah, all you see is Scott Hall.
But we'll talk about that when we talk about that. Anyway, the opening match was for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. Here it was Cruiserweight Champion Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko, 1-on-1 for the title. Right.
Yep.
And then after both men made their entrances, Malenko pretty much started off early with a running drop kick for a 2 count, followed by a suplex on Guerrero.
Yep.
And then Malenko countered a head scissors attempt from Guerrero into a power bomb, and Malenko followed that up with a spine buster for another 2 count. All right.
Yep.
Right off the bat, these two meant business here. Right off the bat here. Yeah.
He's also making fun of his haircut or something.
Yep. And then Malenko actually hit a power slam on Guerrero for yet another 2 count, like a bunch of 2 counts to start this thing off. After some back and forth action to start it off, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then shortly afterwards, Guerrero got out of the ring, try to catch a breather and figure out what his next strategy is, right? You know, typical heel like fashion, because Guerrero was the heel in this match. Of course, Eddie got back in the ring and he clipped the knees of Malenko, followed by a snap dropkick on Malenko by Guerrero. Right?
Yep.
Getting Malenko down temporarily. And of course, the little momentum that Eddie was building didn't last long because Malenko hit his front suplex onto the top rope onto Guerrero that slowed him down. Right? Halting Guerrero's momentum. And then Malenko clotheslined Guerrero for a 2 count, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then freaking Malenko then had a leg lock onto Guerrero, which afterwards he broke up and whipped Guerrero into the ropes. Tossed him into there, and Guerrero, which sent Guerrero going, and then Malenko freaking tossed him up in the air. Guerrero went flat on his stomach. Like a pancake, right? So Malenko pancaked him, right? That way.
Yep.
Tossing around like a flapjack in the air. Right.
Yep.
And of course, at this point, freaking Guerrero was pleading for a timeout, like, hey, stop it. It's like, stop, timeout. I had enough punishment, but Malenko was like, nope. And freaking Malenko came back with a drop kick, putting Guerrero down once again. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, Guerrero then came back with shoulder tackles, but the momentum was stopped once again when Malenko sent him face first in the top turnbuckle. Right?
Yeah, well, he came charging at him and shit, so he fucking flapjacked his ass right into the turnbuckle.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Malenko then hit a belly-to-back suplex for a 2 count. At this point, this match was like, could have gone either way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but on the apron, freaking Guerrero actually snapped freaking Malenko's out on the top rope, getting the momentum back, right? And then Guerrero then slowly started working on Malenko's knee once again, right? Trying to injure that body part some more, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then Eddie then drop kicked the ring steps into the left leg that was against the ring post on the outside, right?
Well, he trapped him and he freaking literally dragged him out of the ring, trapped his legs between the inner post from underneath the ring and the outer post from the outside of the ring, then grabbed the ring steps and just drop kicked into it.
Yep. Yeah, and then once both competitors were back in the ring, Eddie then nailed a powerbomb for Eddie Guerrero, then nailed a powerbomb on Malenko for a 2 count, for another 2 count.
Yep.
Yeah, and then whatever move Eddie Guerrero was going for next, Malenko countered into a back suplex for a 2 count. And then Malenko followed that up with a backbreaker for another 2 count. I mean, there was 2 counts galore in here. That's why I couldn't tell who had the momentum the most. That's what we usually get with these WCW Cruiserweight matches here.
Yep.
Of course, Malenko went to the top rope, but freaking Guerrero freaking countered whatever move he had, so Malenko was just sitting there on the top rope. But Guerrero then went for the Hurricane Run off the top rope, but Malenko shoved him off, right?
Yeah.
Shoved him off to get out of it, and then freaking Malenko then hit a huge power bomb on Guerrero here, and then he attempted to lock Guerrero into the cloverleaf with Eddie fought out of it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Eddie freaking hit a shoulder attack to the knee, followed by a missile drop kick to Malenko. Put Malenko down, right? Then Guerrero then went up to the top rope and hit a frog splash to the knee of Malenko, which actually gave Eddie Guerrero the win to retain the Cruiserweight Championship after getting that 3 count. So, your thoughts on the Guerrero-Malenko match to start off Starrcade here?
Good.
I'd totally forgotten all about this freaking match. It was, to me, I think this was the hidden gem of this whole show. The rest of it to me just felt meh. And you'll understand why as we keep going on along with this review. But yeah, my opinion is I thought it was a good match. The best match of the night, and that's pretty bad when you're so peaked with the opening contest. Right?
Yep.
Of course, that's when... Of course, following the match, Scott Hall of the NWO walked out and pretty much did his little survey saying, who's here to watch WCW? Everyone cheers. Who or the NWO? They cheered for him too. It was a split decision. Despite the NWO being a group of heels at this point.
There was people that went to just see WCW, then there was people that just went to go and see the NWO.
And then Hall said, who here wants to see Hogan beat Sting? Everyone boos. All right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then Hall said, okay, we got a problem. Kevin Nash is not here. Right? And if you have a problem with it, you can meet him down there. Right? Down there meaning hell, I guess.
A fan literally yelled, down where? He's like, goes, down where, you ask?
It's like, you know where. Then Hall said, just tell Giant that he won by forfeit. Right? Of course, that's when the Giant came out. Said he was a patient man, that he'll be in pro wrestling for a long time, which is actually true. He's still going at it in AEW today, as of 2024. Right? And then the Giant said, one day Nash will find out that the Giant is the one true Giant. And then the Giant said he had another message for Nash, but freaking Hall punched himself. Freaking Giant gave him a headbutt. And then Giant then gave Hall a Gorilla Press Slam. And to finish this segment off, Giant hit Hall with a power bomb. Kevin Nash's move, sending a message.
Right? Yeah. Well, he went for the choke slam, then he just dropped his ass. Said, no, you're gonna go for the jackknife.
It's like this little segment doesn't affect the overall score, but you know, for those who wanted to see the Giant versus Kevin Nash at this event, didn't happen. I don't even know the reason why. There's been a lot of speculation and stories out there why Kevin Nash didn't show up to Starrcade, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, afterwards, Scott Hall got helped out of the back by his other NWO freaking teammates.
Yep.
Of course, then we had. Of course, then we went to the next match of the contest. Or next match of the show, right? Which was a 6-man tag. It was tag team champions, the Steiner brothers, which was Rick and Scott Steiner teaming up with Ray Traylor, aka the Big Boss Man. And they had Ted DiBiase in their corner to take on NWO members Vincent, aka Virgil, Scott Norton, and Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Conan, but...
Yeah, and this event literally happened a couple months prior, before Scott Steiner turned on Rick and joined the NWO.
Yeah.
Thus, transforming his appearance into the Scott Steiner we know now with the white hair and the freaking dyed goatee.
Yeah.
So we were like a couple months before that point. And we all know how much you love talking about Scott Steiner matches here on the review.
No, that's you.
Hey man, you're the one who made me watch the rematch between Triple H and Steiner, okay? That's why I made that joke. Yeah, the match started off with Norton getting a cheap shot, which led to Savage working on Scott Steiner on the apron here. Started off heels with the typical heel heat. Yeah, then Norton hit a Samoan drop, followed by a backbreaker on the Steiner as well. As the other heels were also working over Scott Steiner. Savage came in with a double axe handle to the back of Scott. Right.
Yeah.
Of course, Scott then tried to fight back with a double underhook suplex or a gorilla press slam, whatever, because it looked like one on Savage.
Yeah.
And then all 6 men started brawling with Team WCW. We'll just call them Team WCW, freaking getting the advantage, clearing the ring of the NWO guys. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then freaking, yeah, and then Norton went after Rick, which Rick freaking got the advantage with a power slam for a 2 count on the Norton here. Then Ray Traylor got tagged in, worked over freaking Norton with some punches. Then Vincent got the tag in.
Yeah, by the way, Vincent got beat the shit out of.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you don't know who Virgil or Vincent is, you're a child. But if you know who Virgil or Vincent is, you probably need to get your colonoscopy. And yeah, that's a joke. Yeah, that's a joke. Right? But Vincent got in there, and Traylor dropped him with a spine buster.
Yeah.
So the faces still had the advantage. Of course, then Traylor hit a back suplex into a slam on Vincent. Right?
Yep.
Then Scott got the tag in and hit a belly to belly suplex on Vincent. And you know, the crowd seemed dead for this match. You didn't really hear a whole lot of commotion from the crowd during this match. As all 3 of the faces here, Team WCW worked on Vincent for a few minutes. It seemed like the complete opposite, where the heel should have done that to get heel heat, but okay. Of course, Norton got the tag in, hit a clothesline on Trailer, and then Vincent got tagged in and had a collision spot with Trailer as the guys in the apron tried to freaking wake up the crowd, trying to get the crowd into it, right? But no, to no avail. Rick Steiner got tagged in and with a clothesline and hit a clothesline and body slammed on pretty much everyone, right?
Yeah.
Then Rick put Vincent on his shoulders and Scott gave him the DDT off the top. So Scott can give him the DDT from the top rope, but Norton saved on the pinfall, right?
And then he went to do the Frankensteiner.
Yeah, and of course, speaking of Frankensteiner, that's when Scott got the advantage by nailing the Frankensteiner on Vincent anyway, but Savage made the save before the 3 count could be made, right?
Yep.
Then Scott hit another belly-to-belly suplex on Savage, and then Norton came in and put Scott on his shoulders and dropped him down with the electric chair drop, right?
Yep.
Putting down Scott Steiner. And then Savage went up on the top rope and hit that flying elbow onto Scott for the win, for the pinfall win, right?
Yep.
And this match that you can easily just forget about shortly after you've seen it. But your thoughts on the 6-man tag?
Yeah, it was decent.
Felt like something you could have watched on a Nitro back then.
Yeah.
Not exactly pay-per-view quality match, but at least the crowd cheered when Savage hit the elbow drop, so I guess that counts for something, am I right? So to me, it felt more like on average territory, maybe teetering below average. Yeah, and then right afterwards, Gene Okerlund came out, did an interview with J.J. Dillon, the on-screen authority figure for WCW at this point.
Yeah.
And pretty much asked J.J. Dillon about who the referee for the main event's going to be in. And they said, oh yeah, we did a random drawing in the back and Nick Patrick was the one chosen as the referee. We all know where the story's going, and that whole, it was chosen by randomness was bullshit. But they had to sell the story, and Dillon even said, Patrick is an excellent referee. I beg to differ. Oral Hebner in WWE at this time did a better job. I mean, he screwed over Brett. That's supposed to make you laugh.
Of course. You're gonna fucking say the Montreal screw job, aren't you?
Yes. Well, I said fucking the best referee was Earl Hebner in WWE. I mean, he's so great he screwed over Brett. Which we already discussed in a prior review. Right?
Yep.
Anyway, the next match was Steve Mondo McMichael against Goldberg. Or as Bret Hart likes to call him, Bill Goldberg. He likes to pronounce him by his real full name for some reason. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, Goldberg debuted in WCW like 4 months beforehand, so he was still relatively new here. And even then, you could tell freaking Goldberg couldn't last in a long-ass match. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and Goldberg freaking came out, did his entrance, but it was just a basic stand. There was no fireworks or nothing. Like we're used to seeing on a Goldberg entrance here. Of course, Goldberg and Michael then brawled in the aisleway for a bit, and then Goldberg brought McMichael back into the ring. And then freaking McMichael hit a freaking sidewalk slam on the Goldberg, which didn't look the best. Right?
Yeah.
And then Goldberg hit a shoulder tackle and pretty much, for the most part, missed his target. Barely even hit McMichael at all. Right? I mean, you gotta realize, back then, this was Green Goldberg, not very good, which he would get better, but you know, for his style of match, and McMichael really couldn't wrestle that well at all either. He was more known for being a football player.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and then freaking McMichael went to try to get some momentum, jumped off the top ropes, and Goldberg punched him in the ribs in the air, right? And then,
Yep.
And then Goldberg then applied an armbar submission hold, which no one cared for. Fans weren't really into this. They would be going crazy for a Goldberg match later, but this wasn't it. And then Goldberg hit a shoulder block on the freaking McMichael, and then Goldberg actually hit a spear on the freaking McMichael, which, let's face it, we've seen better spears from Goldberg later on.
Yeah.
And then Goldberg then set a table on the outside of the ring, and mind you, this was not a tables match, it was a regular encounter. Right?
Yeah.
And then Goldberg then picked McMichael up, but he didn't slam him through the table. I think McMichael counted it or something. Who cares? Goldberg hit McMichael again with a drop kick, which knocked McMichael on the outside of the ring.
Yeah.
And then McMichael then stood on the ring apron in front of the table. And Goldberg punched him, and then McMichael went through the table after just one punch. Like,
Yep.
Not even a spear through the table, which would make it look 10 times better, right?
Yeah.
And I could barely hear a freaking ECW chant. That's like the only chant you can hear throughout this whole show. No, the crowd wasn't really into this one either. Right?
Yeah.
Back in the ring. It's like back in the ring, McMichael tried to pick freaking Goldberg up for the freaking like pile driver, the one, he ripped off from The Undertaker, but nope. It's like, nope, he couldn't pick up Goldberg, and Goldberg hit the jackhammer for the win. Your thoughts on this sloppy match that was the feud ender between these two?
Yeah. I mean, it was decent, I guess.
To me, it's like, even for a Goldberg match, it's like, I would see better Goldberg matches. Even though they would be shorter than this, they would be better, right?
Yeah.
And me, I just couldn't. It under-delivered is what I am saying. It was more fit for a match on Nitro. Or something, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just like, this one, to me, missed the mark. Alright. I'm just saying, if you want to see a decent Goldberg match, his match with Steve McMichael here is not the one for you. Even though we would see Goldberg compete in worse later on in his career, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, in my opinion, his match with The Undertaker was worse than this one. Right?
Yeah.
And then the next match was supposed to be Raven versus Chris Benoit in a Raven's Rules match, but Raven cut a promo, did his entrance, and then cut his promo while sitting in the corner like he used to do all the time back during this time period. And pretty much says that his contract states he can choose where he wrestles and when he wrestles, and he goes, tonight, I'm not wrestling. Instead, Perry Saturn's going to take my place in this Raven Rules match. You're welcome. You know why I said that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then Benoit then came out and pretty much said that he's destined to freaking destroy Raven. But freaking this match started off with Benoit and freaking Saturn. Benoit then chops Saturn, got the aggression, Benoit got the momentum early on with chops and kicks in the corner to Saturn. God damn, I can't talk today. Why do I even agree to do these reviews? All right.
Because you wanted to.
Yeah, but then Saturn fought back with a one-arm suplex on Benoit, and then Kidman, who looked like the poster boy for being on a little certain something, came out, was on the apron, but Benoit knocked him down. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Benoit sent Saturn, and then Benoit then sat Saturn into the barricade. And then Sick Boy came out and attacked Benoit from behind. Yeah, and then Kidman came out and hit a shooting star press off the apron onto Benoit onto the floor, which to me looked impressive. I'll give Kidman the benefit of the doubt there. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the back of the ring, Saturn hit a neck breaker on Benoit for a 2 count. And then Saturn then hit a springboard moonsault on Benoit for another 2 count. Right? Which I thought looked fine, but the freaking, audience didn't agree, so because there was no reaction at all. Right? I think the fans are just mostly the fans are just saving their energy for the main event match. That's why they didn't really react to any of these. Right?
I think that they were fucking just tired of this shit of where they're saying, "Oh, we're gonna do this," and then nothing happens.
Yeah, then Saturn hit Benoit, and then Saturn freaking hit Benoit in the ribs a couple times with his knees. Yeah, and then Benoit actually managed to get a roll up on Saturn for a 2 count. And Saturn then came back with a clothesline shortly afterwards, right? Keeping the momentum in his corner, right?
Yep.
And then Saturn got hit a brainbuster on Benoit for a 2 count. And then freaking Benoit then fought back and actually hit a clothesline. And Benoit went down too afterwards, showing they're both exhausted. Right?
Yeah.
And then Saturn got back up and actually hit a sit-out slam on the Benoit. And then they both went out to the floor, but Benoit was in attack by Raven and all of his flock members at this point. All 5 of them outside, right? And then Saturn then freaking hit a moonsault that took out all of his teammates and Benoit. But Benoit was able to move, right?
Yep.
Back in the ring, Benoit actually hit a clothesline and a snap suplex, and then putting Saturn down, and then Benoit then hit the diving headbutt from onto Saturn, who was 3/4 across the ring at this point. Looked impressive to me to go that far distance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Benoit freaking took out Kidman, Riggs, Lodi, and Sick Boy, the entire flock, but Van Hammer came out and hit Benoit from behind. And then Raven then hit the DDT, putting Benoit down, and then Saturn applied the Rings of Saturn submission hold, which didn't even look like Benoit tapped, but the referee called for the bell anyway, awarding the win to Saturn.
Yep.
You're welcome.
I know you're welcome.
Anyway, your thoughts on this Perry Saturn Benoit Ravens rules match?
It should have been Raven that wrestled, honestly.
I think that would have been a better match.
He just didn't want to face Benoit.
I think Raven versus Benoit would have been a better hard-hitting affair, all things considered.
Yeah.
But it's ironic. I mean, let me just point this out. I know this event took place in 97, but it's ironic. At this show, we had Eddie Guerrero versus Dean Malenko, followed up by Benoit versus Perry Saturn. You know where all 3 of them would wind up? You know where all 4 of them would wind up 3 years later? Not working for WCW. That's where they'd be at.
Yeah.
All 4 men in a group would be making their debut in WWE 3 years later after this.
Yep, 99.
99, at the end of 99, 2000. Right? It's funny how that worked out on this show, honestly, when you really think about the power of hindsight. Right? But honestly, this match...
I ended up getting screwed over by Eric Bischoff.
Yeah. This match I thought was okay-ish. It wasn't the best match I've seen Benoit compete in. I can't say the same thing for Saturn. I really haven't seen many of his matches. I believe so far in the reviews we've been doing, this is the first Saturn match we actually freaking reviewed. Right?
Yeah.
But to me, again, it felt like average. It felt like something you could have saw at a weekly TV show, or hell, this match you could have seen at any other WCW B-level pay-per-view, not at Starrcade, which was basically WCW's version of WrestleMania at this point.
Yeah.
But so yeah, this felt like more of a B-level pay-per-view type match to me, right?
Yeah.
So either way, it felt average at best. It would have been better, like you said, it would have been better if it was Raven and Benoit facing off against each other.
Yeah, it would have been a lot better.
Yep. But this was WCW. Right when you think you got the story, they'll swerve you, bro.
Yeah.
And then we go on to the next pay-per-view. Next match on this pay-per-view.
Next pay-per-view. Okay, that's my choice.
Well, next pay-per-view is your choice for next week, but I meant to say next match on this pay-per-view. And this is where we get to the NWO versus WCW Warfare matches. Officially proper. As it was Buff Bagwell representing the NWO taking on Lex Luger representing WCW. Here.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Back then, we all know you were a fan of the stuffed Buff.
Nope.
I mean,
I never watched fucking WCW.
Hell, even for this review, we all know you're a Buff Bagwell fan, boy.
Nope, not you.
I would say that I'm a Glacier fan, but I'm friggin' late on making my decision whether I'm a fan of his or not. I mean, Glacier's so late he hasn't even competed in a match on one of these reviews yet. That's how late it is, and I just hope we keep that joke running every time we see a WCW show. Yeah. Gotta look up WCW shows and be like, which ones did Glacier compete at? Okay, wait to do that one. Yeah. Right?
Yep.
But anyway, both Luger and Bagwell, made their entrances here. Bagwell acting the all cocky, freaking good-looking one. I think WCW was trying to be like, rip Shawn Michaels' character off with Bagwell, honestly, but Michaels did it better. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Luger came out, got cheered, and Luger got the advantage early by hitting a gorilla press slam and a clothesline that sent Bagwell out to the floor. And then Vincent, who we seen earlier in the event, in that six-man tag, came out to support Bagwell because you can't have an NWO match without interference. Kind of like the Bloodline today. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then Luger and Bagwell battle on the outside of the ring, with Luger tossing Bagwell into the guardrail a couple times. Right? And then Luger then whipped freaking Bagwell into the corner, and then he punched freaking Vincent while Vincent was on the apron. Right? Knocking Vincent down.
Yeah.
Poor Vincent or Virgil. His main role is the henchman that gets abused. I swear to God, that was his career. No offense to him. No offense to him knowing he's no longer with us. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, this distraction from Vincent getting knocked off the apron gave Bagwell the opening he needed to take control of the match. And then by punching freaking Luger in the back. But whatever offense Bagwell had freaking was short-lived when Luger hit a boot to the face, followed by a clothesline.
Well, you also forgot that we also got DiBiase in '91 as well, which kind of led to everything going down.
Yep. Of course, Bagwell battled back. Oh, yeah. Actually, no. Bagwell was the one who hit Luger with a boot to the face and a clothesline. So Bagwell still had the momentum here. And then Bagwell when Luger was down, Buff Bagwell applied the most deadliest freaking submission hold there ever was. The chin lock.
Your favorite move, the chin lock.
Not that anyone really cared, right?
Yep.
Of course, Luger got out of it and hit a clothesline, but Bagwell came back with a double axe to the back and a clothesline to Luger from Bagwell here. Oh, and what's that? Whoa. Bagwell hit another freaking chin lock. Oh. On the freaking Luger. Oh, you better watch it, pal. You know what they say, 3 strikes, you're out. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then afterwards, Bagwell actually put Luger into a sleeper hold, which Luger then got out of it with a back suplex. Right? On the Bagwell.
Yep.
And then Luger went for a splash, but Bagwell got his knees up. Of course, actually, no. I think Bagwell was going for the splash. Luger got his knees up, but whatever. Luger started making his comeback here. But whatever, Luger started making a comeback. With a back body drop, 3 clotheslines, and an atomic drop. Followed by another one, and then he punched Vincent off the apron again. At this point, I'm just like, can you just mercy kill this match? Right?
Yep.
And just think, this isn't even the worst match of the night. Yeah, and then Luger hit a forearm shot to the head of Bagwell. And then Luger performed a suplex on Bagwell, which didn't really look the best. Then Vincent went onto the top rope. Too much fucking interference here, and you know what that means. But Luger tossed Vincent off the top rope onto Bagwell himself, and then Luger then knocked Vincent out of the ring yet again. But Bagwell kneed Luger in the back, which led to Luger bumping into the referee, knocking him down, right?
And more interference.
Yes. But then Luger fought back against Bagwell with a power slam, and then Luger did the torture rack on Bagwell. Of course, since the referee was gone, no one could stop the match, despite Bagwell probably saying, I give up. But then Randy Savage came out and attacked Luger in the back. Yeah, and then that didn't really stop Luger. Luger came back and gave Savage a slam, putting him down. And then Luger locked the torture rack in on Savage. And then Scott Norton came out to the ring. Kicked Luger and punched Luger in the head with a dog collar. Rick Steiner's dog collar, by the way. And then Norton put an unconscious Bagwell onto Luger. And then he woke the referee up, and, the referee made a 3 count for Buff Bagwell to win.
Yep.
Your thoughts on this match?
It was crap.
I mean, come on. I'm used to interference spots in wrestling, but come on. Not even the Bloodline did it this much.
It was crap, and you know it.
Except for when it was an ODQ match, but this match wasn't an ODQ match. This match...
Exactly.
This match was... Lex Luger and Buff Bagwell competed in better matches than this, and this one just didn't do it for me.
Yep.
And I'm just like, well, that was shit. the interference really freaking goddamn drugged this one down for me. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. But you know which match wasn't a drag down? It was the next match we're about to talk about, which was the United States Championship match with U.S. Champion Kurt Hennig, aka Mr. Perfect, representing the NWO, taking on WCW representative Diamond Dallas Page, or DDP. Right?
Yep.
And the whole time
No, DDP is Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah. And all I kept thinking about was like, Diamond Dallas Page is in this match. He's a good worker. We all know the resume of Kurt Hennig, aka Mr. Perfect. And I'm just thinking to myself, what are they going to do to screw this one up? Right? I do not want them to screw this one up.
Diamond Dallas Page, or DDP, was the fucking workhorse of WCW at this point.
Yes. Kind of like how they call Seth Rollins the freaking workhorse of WWE right now.
Yeah.
These days, that's what DDP's role in WCW was back then.
Yeah.
And of course, DDP got the best reaction of the night. Big fan favorite here. And of course, DDP and Hennig freaking did some mat wrestling early on in the match. None of them really getting the advantage there, because two of them are masters of their craft here. Right? Yeah, and then DDP did a hair whip-like maneuver, which Hennig bumped over the top rope after a punch from freaking Page. Right? Yeah, then Hennig took the momentum by driving Page throw first into the top rope, knocking Page down. Right? Yeah, and then Hennig then kicked Page DDP out of the ring and tossed him into the steel steps. Spot we see many times, am I right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then with the advantage, Hennig stomped away at the back and the ribs of Page, which, side note, the ribs of Page were taped up, damaged from Hennig here prior to this match. Yeah, and then Hennig...
Well, yeah, because Hennig tried to soften him up.
Yeah, and then Hennig freaking stomped Page in the face with his boot, followed by a clothesline for a 2 count. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then freaking Page then hit a jaw jacker to get out of a chin lock that freaking Hennig had applied it onto him. Damn, Page found a way to get out of the deadliest of nerve holds. Submission holds. And then they slugged it out, back and forth, and then Hennig took another bump over the top rope after following another punch from freaking DDP. Right.
Yep. DDP wins as in the match. WCW goes up fucking 3-0 or 3-1.
Yeah, but we'll talk about the ending. And then Page...
Or 3-2.
Page got a slingshot cross body block, and then which then they got back in the ring. Page ended up crotching Hennig on the top rope, so Page is addicted to Hennig's perfects. Hennig's Mr. Perfects, right? Yeah, then freaking...
So they wouldn't be perfect after that.
No. Yeah, and then freaking Page at this point, shortly after that, went for a diamond cutter, which is pretty much the original version of what we see as the RKO today. But Hennig got out of it, and
the diamond cut and RKO are two separate things, but
basically the same concept as a cutter move.
Yeah.
And Hennig got a 2 count, roll up with a 2 count with his feet on the ropes. And then Hennig hit DDP with a clothesline, but Page got the advantage by taking him down with an armbar, and then they nailed each other with punches and staggered back and forth. Once back to their feet, Page countered a whip into the ropes with a diamond cutter for the win.
Yep.
To win and become the new United States champion here. Your thoughts on this one?
It was decent.
To me, these two knew each other real well. Both of these legendary wrestlers were great workers in that ring. And for once, it was an NWO match with no interference. That's a freaking plus in my book here, am I right?
Yeah.
Considering who was involved, so I gotta say this one was the second best match of the night, with the cruiserweight title match still being the peak of the show, in my opinion. But this one's serviceable. You'll be able to enjoy this match without hating yourself for watching it afterwards. That's what I'm saying. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
it all depends.
Of course, here's a little insight. I guess this match was originally supposed to be Hennig taking on Flair, but Flair didn't show up for this event either. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Paige celebrated the
Flair
win.
was battling some shit that Eric Bischoff was chumping up or something.
Yeah. And Paige celebrated this win by walking into the crowd with the U.S. title held above his head. Right?
Yep.
Celebrating the win.
He ran into the crowd.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. Of course, then we head over to the next match. It's like Bret Hart walked out wearing a black shirt and blue jeans to be the referee for this next match. Just remember, this was a little over a month after the screw job, and the screw job is the reason why Bret Hart's in WCW at this point.
Yeah.
And this is the controversy why people say that Bret Hart was misused. They didn't put him in a big main event storyline or close to a main event. They had him be a referee for his first major storyline. Yep. When they could have just had Bret Hart come out and air his grievances and rip the competitor apart after what happened, but no. They didn't even do that. Bischoff could have used Bret Hart. That first night that Bret Hart was there, he could have had Bret Hart go out and rip the competition, rip Vince McMahon a new asshole and air his grievances. Taking shots at the WWE at this point. Or WWF at this point, but no, they didn't do that. Right?
Yeah.
So Bret Hart was a referee for this next match where the winner would take over Nitro. And it was the match between Larry Zbyszko representing WCW against your boy Eric Bischoff.
No, it's your boy Eric Bischoff
representing the NWO. And we all know this match. Okay, let me point this out right here before we go into detail what happened. This match was way too long for a Bischoff match. Let's get that stated right now. It's like a Michael Cole match from 2011. Nobody wanted to see this match. And for those who did,
wanted to see this match.
And for those who did, they probably wanted Bischoff to get his ass kicked in a short squash. Which bit of it, like what they did when Austin beat his ass. But no, we didn't even get that with this one.
I had you were excited for that, weren't you?
We basically had to sit through a fucking 12-minute Bischoff match. Which we all know is your favorite length for a Bischoff match.
Nope, it's yours.
And because Bischoff is your boy.
Nope, he's your boy.
Yeah, and then freaking Larry Zbyszko was retired at this point, only wrestling one match. He was legendary for his time period. Bischoff was 41 years old at this freaking point, had a karate background, but he wasn't a competitor. He was more of a manager person. He was the owner of WCW, the company, at this point. All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, and Eric Bischoff obviously had Scott Hall in his corner because that's what this match needs. Good old NWO interference, am I right? At some point.
Yes.
And of course, Bischoff, like a dirty little heel he is, just said nope right at the get-go and just kept stalling over and over again. All right?
Yep.
And then when Bischoff finally decided to fight Larry Zbyszko in this match, It's like Bischoff nailed
He got his ass kicked.
Well, Bischoff nailed a standing sidekick, which Larry no-sold. And Bischoff was like, yay, into celebration. Right? It's like, what is it? And even the commentator was like, what is that? Some kind of victory? Is that what you're celebrating?
Yeah.
You hit one move and it didn't even work.
Yep.
That would be like you and me getting into a legit fight. I don't know why we would. Just freaking go with this made up scenario. That would be like you and me going to having a fight against each other, and the first thing I do is shove you and be like, "I win this fight,"
and then just a fucking kick to your face, and I'm like, "Now what?"
Yeah, I know. But you know the example I was using. What we basically saw here. Of course, Larry didn't think that was very funny, with Eric Bischoff being like, "Ooh, I win," after just hitting one move that didn't do shit. So Larry took him down in the middle of the ring, and Larry actually freaking put a sleeper hold onto Bischoff. Right? Yeah. Of course, Brett made Larry break the hold and said he was choking it. Of course, the big story the commentators trying to say is like, which side is Brett on? So I guess Brett didn't confirm whether he was for either side here. I'm like, that's what this match needs, a good old fucking story to the referee.
First he gets screwed, and then he gets turned into a ref.
Ironically, he became the one thing he sought to destroy in WCW on his first night in.
A joke?
Yeah, yes. Yes. And Bret Hart even said he knows something about good officiating. I'm just like, oh, God, that shot's fired.
That's all WCW needed was a freaking screwed referee.
Oh, we'll talk about screwy referees later.
Oh, I already know. I'm just saying that all WCW needed was a screwed referee from 96.
Yeah. Of course, Larry Zbyszko managed to put freaking Bischoff in a leg scissors hold around the throat, which Brett also made him break it. The fans didn't really like that. And of course, the commentators proceeded to rip Brett a new ass for that one because he thought he was favoring Bischoff.
Also, the rumors before this match happened was Zbyszko was trying to push Bret Hart as a big main event star, but Bischoff didn't want that.
Bischoff should have listened. Maybe his company would have lasted a little bit longer. Right? Because Bret Hart was a big main event star.
Well, also, it was Larry Zbyszko that freaking brought in Eric Bischoff. Not Eric,
Bret
Hart.
Yep.
After the screw job.
Yep.
And he was trying to push him as the big main event star to go up against Hulk Hogan because people wanted to see Bret Hart versus Hogan. But no! Eric Bischoff's like, nope. His first thing he's going to do from the entire thing is be a ref.
Of course, eventually the fans would see Bret Hart versus Hollywood Hogan back in '98, but that was just for a Monday Night Nitro, and it ended it with a shit finish. So, hooray! There's your Bret Hart Hulk Hogan match. I hope it was well worth the wait. Fuck you. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, shortly after this, of course, back to the match. Larry Zbyszko had a standing figure four that led to Bischoff getting to the ropes and falling out to the floor. Yeah, and then Larry wanted to punch him in the face, but Hart freaking pulled him back, and Bischoff nailed a kick to the face of Zbyszko. And more punches and kicks followed from Bischoff in the corner. While the crowd was chanting Larry, you were sitting there at your house chanting Bischoff.
Nope. You were.
And Bischoff Bischoff was on offense for a good portion of this match, which is too long. Right, and then of course Larry Zbyszko eventually fought back. Larry Zbyszko eventually fought back with a suplex followed by a neck breaker on Bischoff.
Yep.
And then Larry hung Bischoff upside down in the corner, aka the Trio Woes, but Brett pulled Bischoff off. And then Hall put some kind of steel object into the boot of Eric Bischoff, or should we say under the foot of Bischoff. All right?
Yeah.
And Bischoff did a kick, and the object went flying out. So obviously, it wasn't even there properly, right? Which is comical. Yeah. That's where this match went. It went to comedy territory. Of course, Zbyszko was down. Bischoff wanted to celebrate with Brett, but Bischoff didn't even go for the cover, so Brett punched him in the face and knocked him down. and then Bret Hart with a punch and an atomic drop and a clothesline to Hall, because Hall got in and got attacked too by Brett here.
Yeah.
And Brett put freaking Hall in the sharpshooter with a standing ovation. And then Hall was tapping out. Everyone loved that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, everyone's laughing at it. And then freaking Larry Zbyszko then choked Bischoff out with his own belt, with a belt wrapped around his neck. And that was it. Hart just raised Larry Zbyszko's hand to mark the match with no official pinfall, submission, no nothing. So in a sense, Bischoff got screwed.
Yeah.
That ending felt shit, in my opinion.
Your boy got screwed.
Just no, like your Brett boy got screwed.
Nope.
So yeah, Larry Zbyszko was declared the winner despite not actually getting a visual win. Your thoughts on this matchup, if you want to call it a matchup?
No, he got the win because Eric Bischoff tapped out after he got blocked out.
Yeah, but either way, freaking, I thought the match was not very good. The match was crap. Let's just face it. The match was shit. I've only had one 5-star Eric Bischoff match, and that was when he got his ass handed to him by Austin. That was it. That's the only 5-star match you'll ever get from me. This one was not it. And that's only because of how badly Bischoff was.
What is your favorite match of the night? Don't lie. You loved it when you got to see Eric Bischoff try to act like a winner.
Fuck that shit, man. That was your favorite match. That was your favorite match tonight. Speaking of your favorite match tonight, it's time to talk about the main event.
Oh, God.
The match why I picked this event to start with. The match that I know you really regret watching, or dreaded watching, I should say. And that was for the WCW Championship, with Hollywood Hogan defending it, representing the NWO, against Sting representing WCW in a match that was the culmination of a big 18-month storyline where Sting didn't wrestle at all. Pretty much spied on the NWO from the rafters the whole time and getting involved into stopping their brawls and everything else.
Oh, no, he wrestled.
He didn't wrestle for 18 months. And if he did, it was exclusively on house shows.
Yeah.
And at this point, everything people knew about Sting previously was shred, because he shredded his surfer gimmick for this crow-like gimmick, which he ran with for the rest of his career.
Which honestly was better.
Yeah. And then Michael Buffer was out there, gave the ring announcer for Hogan came out first, which was odd for the champion to come out first. Right?
Yeah.
With his NWO theme song and everything else. And if I had to say the wrestler who got the entrance of the night from this show, it would be Sting's. Because I like that dark-ass entrance, the whole epilogue before his music hit and everything else. And the slow walk to the ring, creepy as hell, with a bat in his hand.
Yeah.
To his freaking Crow theme song. Right?
Yep.
You gotta admit, that was a badass entrance, okay? You can't lie to yourself, right?
Yeah. I would still love to see it was one of the WrestleManias. If it would have been Sting versus Undertaker, freaking two last bastions of their era.
Yeah, imagine if they did that at a WrestleMania and it was Sting with that entrance versus Taker and his iconic dark entrance too. Everyone would be going crazy just for the entrances alone.
Yes.
Right? So yeah, with both competitors in the ring, it was now time to see how this match would play out. And oh boy, we'll get to it when we get to that. Everyone was hyped up for this match. Everyone wanted to see this match. This match was the reason why this was the most bought pay-per-view in WCW history. Let's just see how Eric Bischoff and WCW fucks this one up. And boy, they did.
It wasn't even that long of a fucking match.
And it started off early with Hogan shoving Sting after taunting him early on, right?
Yes.
Of course, Sting fought back, nailing a punch on the Hogan. And the crowd went wild for that one. This was Sting's first match on television in 18 months. And then Hogan then bowed back with a clothesline in the corner that did not end, as well as the back rake on the Sting as well. But Hogan missed some elbow drops, and then Sting nailed a drop kick that sent Hogan out to the floor. Right. Yep. And then Sting tailed two more drop kicks on the Hogan, sent Hogan to the floor once again from the outside, from back in. And Hogan was doing the heat selling again, trash talking outside the ring when he doesn't have the advantage. Typical Hogan heel fashion, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then back in the ring, Sting put Hogan in a headlock, and then Hogan freaking came back, got out of it, came back with a clothesline, and then Hogan then taunted the crowd. There was a lot of taunting here. And then Hogan then hit a suplex on Sting, but Sting no-sold it like you in 2K. That's my one per video right there. I swear to God.
That's every fucking video.
I said one per video. I always do one of those jokes per video. Right?
Uh-huh.
Sting
just because I beat your ass with Bischoff and no-sold your move.
But anyway, Sting no-sold the suplex and then hit chops. And hit chops with Hogan, right?
Yep.
Actually, no, he hit the DX crotch chop, and then freaking Hogan didn't try to do the eye poke, but then and then he dumped Sting on the outside floor. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, then Hogan then hit Sting in the back with his own baseball bat on the outside. That should have been a disqualification, but obviously the referee ain't going to end it on that bullshit. He'll end it on more bullshit later. At that point, it
wasn't even the fucking official ref that was in the match that fucking ended the match.
Yeah, and then Hogan then sent Sting into the ring post, into the post at ringside, right?
Yep.
On the outside, right? And then Sting tried to battle back on the floor with a stinger splash, but Hogan moved. Came back on the floor with a stinger splash, but Hogan moved out of the way. And then Sting then sat crashing. And then Sting freaking went crashing into the steel barricade from Hogan, right?
Yep.
And then back in the ring, Hogan hit an atomic drop, and then Hogan hit that big boot to the face of Sting. He posed for the crowd like he always does. And then Hogan hit the deadliest leg drop, the finisher that he always connects with. And then the ref goes 1, 2, 3, normal count. Right?
Yeah.
And here's the screwy part. Hogan retains the championship, fair and square. Right? Which isn't the result the fans want, but they had to deal with. But then Bret Hart showed up to prevent the timekeeper from ringing the bell. And pretty much all went to hell after that. And then Hart freaking told Patrick that it was a fast count despite it being a freaking normal count. And then hard punch
Patrick. It was a pretty fast count that he was doing.
It was a normal count. You can't dispute this.
Yes, I can, because it wasn't a normal count.
It looked like a normal count compared to all the ways the other referees were. It looked like a normal
count, but he actually did a little bit faster.
Patrick called that the WWF official count, which he may have had a point, but it didn't really look that much faster than any other count on the show.
It was a little bit faster.
Well, whatever. It still looked semi-normal, okay? That's what it looked like. And then Brett punched out Hogan, and then Brett said, "Not again." And then Hart was like, "I am the referee for this match. Restart it." And then freaking Sting.
Yeah, because he didn't want a fucking screwy ending like he got screwed.
This was a screwy ending. And then freaking
Sting. But he was the one that was doing the screwing, though.
Yeah, and then freaking goddamn Sting put Hogan back in the ring. Brett put Hogan back in the ring. Sting then freaking hits Hogan with a stinger splash in the corner. Yeah, and then Bagwell and then Norton came out, and then Sting knocked them down. Those two were justice for the NWO, because this was a screwed up finish. And then freaking goddamn Sting hit a stinger splash again, and then the crowd went wild for this screw job here. And then Sting then slapped on the Scorpion Deathlock. He pointed at Brett, because the move looked like basically Brett's sharpshooter. And I didn't even see a physical submission, but apparently Hogan submitted and Brett called for the bell, awarding the WCW title to Sting by submission. Your thoughts on this match?
It was excellent.
That wasn't a fast count. That was a semi-normal count.
No, it was a fast count because Nick Patrick was in Bischoff's pocket, and you could see that Sting had count. Yes, it was, because you could see that Sting had kicked out.
Sting didn't kick out at all. He stayed down for all of 3.
No.
Hogan had a clear visual pinfall win the whole damn time.
No.
Apparently Sting fucking told Patrick in the back the plan was to do a fast count. Hogan apparently told Nick to do a freaking normal count. And then Bischoff even said, "Oh, we couldn't have Sting be a definitive winner because Sting looked out of shape." That a bunch of bullshit.
Yes, but Larry Labisco literally told Bischoff that shit wasn't going to go down that way. Bischoff disregarded that. That's what led to their match. And then Larry Labisco fucking told Bret Hart to go down there and fucking restart the match.
Either way, Starrcade 97 should have ended with Hogan retaining. As much as people would have hated that.
No, it ended the way it should have, with Sting as the winner.
It's like, that was a normal count. That wasn't a goddamn fast count.
That was a fast count!
It looked like a normal count.
It was a fast count.
We can fucking debate this all you want. You argue this till when?
Argue this until the cows come home, or they go to the cow.
Well, I'm a cow and I'm already home, so the argument's over. I win.
Nope, I win.
Ugh. God damn the ending of this fucking match. The ending of this match was confusing. It sucked. It was bullshit, and it was a screw job. Brett tried to prevent a screw job only to fucking have it be a screw job. But instead of being the screwy, he was a screwer.
Yes.
That's why the main event's so controversial. That's why people have a sour taste when it comes to this match. All Bischoff had to do was book Sting to win cleanly, and he didn't do it. And a bunch of crap got convoluted up. This was shit, and the ending of this main event was crap, and you know it.
Nope.
Oh, and what made this more slipping into comedy fucking shit? For 18 months, Sting was silent, didn't really talk on TV at all. And the first things he said after winning that championship, after being surrounded by every WCW superstar with something in Spanish. I'm like, really?
No, he didn't say anything in Spanish. They thought he said it in Spanish. But no, he just literally said victory, mamacita.
It's like, what the heck? Still, that's kind of weird.
Which Eddie Guerrero would steal and call China.
But either way, we can debate about the ending of this main event, whether people think it was fast count, whether it's not fast count. It wasn't a fast count.
It was a fast count.
You can't convince me otherwise.
I will convince you. I'll make you rewatch it, you son of a bitch.
No, we can literally sit there and react to that for a short period. That was not a fast count. That was a regular count.
Hogan got screwed.
Hogan got screwed, brother.
Sting got screwed.
Hogan got screwed, brother.
Got screwed, brother.
Brother. Don't make me bring that shit up again, brother. Anyway, I mean, we can debate this all we want, but this video would be 4 hours or just 3 hours of us just bitching back and forth at each other. So let's just spare everyone the goddamn misery of listening to that and just go to our rating systems here before we end this review off properly. Eddie Guerrero defeating Dean Malenko to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. I gave that one 4 out of 5. Best match of the night.
4.5.
All right. Savage, Norton, and Vincent of the NWO defeating Ray Traylor and the Steiner brothers in that 6-man tag. I gave that one 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I guess a 3.
Goldberg defeating Steve McMichael in the Steve McMichael in a singles match. I gave that one 2 3/4 out of 5.
1.
Only because there was a table spot, the sloppiest table spot, but at least it helped. Otherwise, it would have been 2.
1.
Otherwise, it would have been 2.
It was a 1.
Yep. Whatever. I guess I enjoyed it a little bit. That shit show more than you did. Perry Saturn defeating Chris
because
Benoit.
fucking Goldberg brought in the fucking table.
Yep. Perry Saturn defeating Chris Benoit in that Ravens rules match. 3 out of 5.
2.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Buff Bagwell defeating Lex Luger. 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I just gave it a solid 2.
Yeah. Diamond Dallas Page defeating Kurt Hennig to win the United States Championship. 3 3/4 out of 5.
4.
Or 3.75 out of 5 or 3 3/4 out of 5. Either way, it's still within that range for us.
I gave it a 4.
Larry Zbyszko defeating Eric Bischoff with Bret Hart as a special guest referee. 1.25 out of 5.
5.
1.25.
5.
That match sucked and you know it.
That match was hilarious and you know it.
and Sting winning the WCW Championship, defeating Hollywood Hogan in a screw job, which Hogan originally won to begin with. I gave that one -5 out of 5.
5.
-5, motherfucker.
5. Positive 5, bitch.
It's like Hogan should have won that match. Sting didn't deserve to win. It was a damn screw job. Fuck Nick Patrick.
Sting was supposed to win. That's how it was supposed to go. That's how it went. So there.
Fuck Nick Patrick. Fuck Bret Hart. Hogan got screwed. -5 out of 5. -5 out of 5.
5.
My final grade for Starrcade 97 would be a fucking F.
D.
The only freaking good match is that Cruiserweight title match. The rest of it, you really don't need to see. And that main event sucked. The ending sucked. Actually, no, I changed my mind. The final grade is a goddamn D. And that's being nice only because the opening match was good. The rest of it was not.
See?
Great. That's our thoughts, our review and our thoughts of Starrcade in 1997. And oh my God, no. Next week, you got the freaking review now. This is the moment, this is the part of the review I've been dreading all damn week because I know it's time for you to get revenge for next week. Which, by the way, people, before you say what you... Next week will be the final wrestling podcast review of 2024 before the holiday season for 2 weeks. So what is the I hate to ask this, but what is the final pay-per-view or show we are going to review for 2024 next week?
Heroes of Wrestling. Just kidding.
I was about to say, motherfucker, you can review that on your own. And just send me the footage, because I ain't watching that shit.
It's going to be uncensored 96.
You fucking asshole, you're going to make me relive that fucking bullshit. When I was watching shit for the Monday Night Wars that's one of the events that made me not want to watch Nitro ever again.
I warned you. You
motherfucker.
Watch it. I'm going to make you watch something even worse.
I don't want to watch that Doomsday Cage match with shit, and you know it.
And they said it was supposed to be uncensored. It was not uncensored. That was the most censored fucking pay-per-view they had.
God, those matches are going to be a slog to get through. I've seen that pay-per-view willingly, not even for a damn review. There was only one goddamn good match on that show, and that had Brutus Beefcake of the Booty Man in it, for fuck's sake. When that is the peak of the show, you know your show sucks.
I fucking warned you, bitch.
You fucking... God damn it, I gotta review that. Touche.
I warned you, make me watch Starrcade. I'll make you watch the worst of them all.
At least it ain't
besides Heroes of Wrestling.
At least it ain't from the year 2000, but it's still a shit show. And this was pre-NWO event you're talking about, so we can't even look forward to that. God, have mercy. Well, I ain't looking forward to next week. Of course, the visual of that Doomsday Cage is good, but that's the only good thing. The match, that match was shit.
No, you loved Uncensored 96, didn't you?
How could two men...
absolutely loved it.
How could two men beat like 10 other people in 3 sets of cages? Didn't make any sense. It was hokey. That would make fucking Patrick from SpongeBob be like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And he lives underwater. With fire and electricity and everything else, for fuck's sake.
I warned you, son of a bitch.
Oh, Lord have mercy on my soul next week. Anyway.
There will be no mercy. There will only be torture and darkness.
Anyway.
And a lot of sadness.
Yeah. Oh.
Because I can just see him messaging me through the pay-per-view. You son of a bitch. Why?
And as soon as that freaking main event starts, I'll just be messaging you, fuck you. How many fuck yous are you going to give me? One for each of Hogan and Savage's opponents. Fuck you. Anyway, Lord have mercy on my soul. Next week, you get to hear our thoughts on that dreaded freaking Uncensored 96 show. Oh, God, Lord have mercy on my soul. Help me with this one. Until then, we will talk to y'all later.
And this was their trash show.
Yes. Oh, God. And until... Okay, just wish me luck next week. Until next time, I will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces, guys. Have fun.
Oh, God help me.